earth is going on with old man Ohnoki? So you're telling me that this, like, 95-year-old man is the mastermind behind the kidnapping of the son of a world-renowned criminal? Huh. We'll get onto the whole things with Ohnoki towards the end, because I have a little theory that I want to talk about regarding Ohnoki and why he's doing all this. So I think we'll leave that towards the end, and before that, we'll cover all of the smaller details that went on throughout this episode. Starting off with that little meeting in the Hokage's office. Boy, can I just say that Shikamaru is an absolute badass. When Konohamaru came in through the door and Shikamaru instantly just kind of put his hand to him and told him, "Get out, this is important," without even thinking or looking of who it is. The only thing that would have topped that off is if, with instant reaction, just without even thinking, just a natural reaction, Shikamaru just straight up shadow paralysed Konohamaru and told him, like, could you imagine? That is, Shikamaru is the best security guard if he had done that. Just saying. But we've got the confirmation that Konohamaru is actually going to go on this village to the Stone Village to go and meet up and bring back Boruto and his friends. I think a lot of us kind of saw this coming. I think if your entire team has gone AWOL, you know, you'd expect that that team leader would have some sort of responsibility over it and would be responsible for actually fixing that. So I don't think many of us are too surprised about seeing Konohamaru go out to go and get Boruto. One thing that I am slightly surprised about and really enjoyed was this nice little touch where Konohamaru was on top of the Great Stone Faces, more specifically the third Hokage, his granddad, and actually put on the Onbu mask. That gave me a little bit of chills, because a lot of you, I don't think, might know this, because I think it came from one of Kishimoto's little, I don't know if it was a little chapter, a little novel, not 1000% sure, but towards the lead up of Boruto, we found out that Konohamaru's parents were actually Onbu Black Ops members. So by seeing Konohamaru dressed up in the Onbu uniform and putting on that mask and then just blazing out of there at the speed of light, it was a nice little touch showing that he's kind of following in the footsteps of his parents, and just plus he looks badass. That's simple as that. Now this is me nitpicking just slightly. It doesn't really bother me a great deal, and I'm not going to really mark down the episode too much because of this fact. And it's just simply the fact that I think that infiltrating the village was slightly easy. Now I can kind of understand that they didn't want to make a big deal about infiltrating the village, so they kind of came up with like little excuses like, oh, the security is not as tight, blah blah. That's why I'm not going to mark it down too much, because they clearly didn't want to spend too much time having that as a big focus on the arc. They want to kind of get to the other stuff, so they just kind of thought up of possibly a silly reason. I don't know. Like I said, it's a tiny little nitpick, but I thought some of you may have picked up on it, so I thought I'd share my opinion. Yes, I did think infiltrating the village was a little bit easy, but like I said, it doesn't bother me a great deal. I'd rather them easily enter the village than them spend 3 episodes trying to get into the village. That's the way I see it anyway. Oh, but anyway, here we go. Ohnoki, everybody's favourite pensioner, if you'd like to say that. I did not see this plot twist coming whatsoever, and I don't think anyone did. I think it's safe to say that nobody, if you did genuinely, wholeheartedly saw Ohnoki being a traitor and actually being the bad guy behind this, or supposedly the bad guy anyway, then let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll show you guys someone who is not telling the 100% truth. I'm just kidding, obviously, but yeah, I think a very small minority actually saw this coming. I was genuinely shocked. The Boruto anime genuinely managed to shock me, so that is a plot twist done right. Now, this has actually left a bad taste in some people's mouths, however, kind of mine as well, because a lot of people are saying that it kind of goes off it kind of contradicts all of the character development that Ohnoki got during Naruto Shippuden. You know, he used to be this kind of like, he had connections to the criminal underworld, obviously most notably Deidara and hiring the Akatsuki to do jobs for him. So he's never been the cleanest of guys, you could say, but he kind of overcame all of that after he met Naruto and Gaara, and he realised, you know, that there is peace, you know, the possibility of peace between all the 5 nations and all of that, and he came to understand Naruto and Gaara's way of looking. However, by having him apparently from this episode go back to his old ways of being, you know, having times with the criminal underworld and then being a bad guy and a bit sketchy, a lot of people are saying how that's just kind of erased any form of character development he got in Naruto Shippuden. Now, I see where they're coming from, but I kind of want to give it a little bit of time before I give my full opinion on all of that, because I can think of a couple of scenarios as to where maybe your beliefs, I don't know what the word would be, but where you place something over that, and that would be family. So now it's time for my little theory to do with Ohnoki. Now, we all expected Lord Q to be Kuzuchi, I think that was his name, Kozuchi, something like that, who was Ohnoki's dead grandson that we were introduced to right at the beginning of this arc. I was dead set on it. I think everyone was dead set on that being Lord Q, and I was kind of surprised when I found out that it wasn't actually him, it was his father, so Ohnoki's son. I believe that's the relationship between them all anyway. I mean, we obviously saw Lord Q call Ohnoki's father and then grandson, so, you know, you put 2 and 2 together, you'd imagine that that's how the family tree goes. And this is what I think is going down right now. Now, we saw Ohnoki actually touch on during his speech to Boruto, saying how, you know, something along the lines of that you have to lose, you know, he was talking about the loss of a precious life, probably referring to his dead grandson. Now, I think, because we know that the Akuta are synthetic humans, you know, like Sekiei, Kokuyo and all of these, and then you kind of got like the other lower life forms of Akuta, which is like the big trash bags, like Akun, guys, the cute, adorable little guy that we met last episode. Unfortunately, he's now actually been given an official name, so we can't name him. I know it's very sad, but his name is Akun. But regardless, going on a tangent, these Akuta are attempts at creating synthetic humans. However, they are not quite perfect. Obviously, we've got these kind of Akutas which just die off quickly and they don't resemble a human form whatsoever. They've got no talk, they can't talk, nothing like that, no emotion, no apparent emotion anyway. And then you've got kind of like the improved Akutas like Sekiei and Kokuyo, like I mentioned. However, I don't think they're 100% perfect either. I mean, they've got more of a human appearance, you know, they can speak, they have somewhat of emotions, but again, I don't think they're the healthiest in the world. I don't think their lifespan is a great deal. I feel as though Sekiei has touched on that at some point during this arc, but I may be wrong, but that's my thought process on it. And then you've got Mitsuki, who you could say is like the perfect synthetic human, or at least the closest to being a perfect synthetic human in the Boruto series. Now, this is where I think the whole Ohnoki and Lord Q wanted to take Mitsuki thing is stemming from, because I think they've probably tried to turn these Akuta and master the whole cloning cells and whatnot into creating a life form in order to somehow bring back their grandson from the dead. And I reckon that Lord Q probably is more like young Ohnoki, you know, the one who had tie-ins with the Akatsuki and whatnot, as opposed to current Ohnoki, who is a bit more kind of peace-loving. So I think that Lord Q has probably persuaded Ohnoki to take in Mitsuki by implanting these just false ideals into his head about, I know a way to bring back Kozuchi, all this, blah, blah, blah. And you have to think, if there was someone that you thought was dead, someone you was really close to, because obviously Ohnoki had a good connection with his grandson because he was talking very highly of him, he clearly loved him. If someone came up to you and said, listen, I know a way to bring back this loved one back to life, however, you are going to have to kind of go against your ideals a little bit and bend the rules of society, part of your head is going to flash and just think, huh, okay, this is a risk that might be worth taking. And that's precisely what I think's happened. I think before Mitsuki came along, Lord Ku was trying to work his magic by creating the Akuta, or, well, trying to create humans, which ended up being the first stage of the Akuta, and then later on, we had the second stage of the Akuta, like Seki and Mitsuki, and now I think, like Seki and Gokyo, and now I think Mitsuki has come along and they've got word of Mitsuki, and I think that's now where Ohnoki's like, okay, I can now understand the genuine possibility of bringing back Kozuchi. Hopefully I explained that well to you guys. It makes sense in my head that this is what's going on. I'll wait to see what happens next episode, because there could be the whole thing that, you know, Ohnoki's not actually bad and he may be just kind of playing the bad role to kind of flush out traitors and whatnot. That's what I see a lot of people saying. That's my opinion on it all anyway, but it does question why Lord Ku would be going after Kuratsuchi. Maybe that's something that Ohnoki's not actually aware of. We don't know. But I think if something like this happens, the moral of the story, at least from Ohnoki's point of view anyway, would be that, you know, sometimes you just kind of got to let go and move on. I think that's what I would think anyway. Also, now that we actually have confirmation that Mitsuki's basically arrived now, because Lord Ku says that the test subject is ready, I'm starting to question if Mitsuki is going to reveal his Sage Mode in front of everyone, because I think that would create a lot of tension towards the climax of this arc, because we all want to see everyone's reaction to Sage Mode Mitsuki, because it is one of the most badass things in the entire Naruto franchise, okay? I went there, I said it, deal with it. I think it would create a ton of tension, because not only is it badass, also we know now that Orochimaru placed this curse mark within him, that if anyone finds out, Mitsuki self-destructs. So I'm really excited to see where they actually take that. After last week, the Boruto anime annoyed me, okay? I think we all can get that. It's recaptured my interest, and that's what it's done literally the entirety of this arc. It started off by catching my interest, then it went downhill a little bit, and then it recaptured my interest, and then it went off a little bit, and bang, it's caught me back in again. So whatever they're doing this arc, it may be annoying us at times, but they're doing something right, because I keep coming back to watch more. Also, I feel like I should point out, I feel really sorry for Akatsuchi. I think that's his name. Basically, since I've first met him in Naruto Shippuden, I've always just envisioned him as just this big, fat, warm fuzzball of wholesomeness. He just seems like a really sweet old man, and I feel bad for him, because we know he loves Ohnoki and all this. I mean, not literally, but you know, he's very close to Ohnoki, and his face when he saw Ohnoki kind of turn evil for a second, it was just kind of, I felt sorry for him. I really like Akatsuchi, okay? Just want to say that and put it out there. Guys, thank you so much for watching this review of episode 82 of Boruto. Leave your thoughts and opinions on this episode in the comment section down below. I expect them to be quite good, because this was a big improvement on last week's episode. Leave a like on the video as well if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. And I will see you guys in another video. But until then, peace.